Venezuela's economy is, by all accounts, failing. Decades of frivolous public spending, coupled with plummeting demand for its largest export, oil, has pushed the country into a full-blown crisis mode. Inflation is estimated at anywhere between 400 and 800%, making Venezuela's currency, the bolivar, worth less every day. As of June 2016, nearly 90% of the population can't even afford to buy food. These figures are undoubtedly shocking. So what is life really like for Venezuelans who are in the midst of this crisis? Well, since Venezuela began to spiral out of control in 2013, basic goods like food, water, and medicine have become increasingly difficult to find. This is in part due to the government's strict rationing system, which is designed to prevent patrons from stockpiling goods before inflation drives the prices up. Venezuelans are only allotted 2 days per week to shop at state-run grocery stores, which often results in long lines and empty shelves. And although many basic goods can be found on the black market, most people can't afford them, as high demand leads to high prices. In June 2016, frustrations over food shortages erupted in riots, leaving hundreds of stores ransacked and at least 5 people dead. Venezuela's economic woes have also culminated in state-sanctioned blackouts. For 40 days of 2016, the government cut electricity in nearly half the country's states for 4 hours each day, forcing homes, businesses, and hospitals to operate by generators and candlelight. In other efforts to save energy, the state has pushed clocks forward by half an hour and shortened the work week for government employees to just 2 days. Even more flawed is Venezuela's healthcare system. According to the Pharmaceutical Federation, the country's medical facilities lack about 80% of the basic supplies they need to treat the country's population. That means many hospitals are not only without advanced technology like x-rays or dialysis machines, but also beds, needles, soap, and even paper. And because the government has little money for imports, medicine is also scarce, and many have died from infections and other treatable ailments. What's more, many of Venezuela's hospitals are quickly losing trained personnel, as doctors and nurses leave the country in search of higher paid positions. This is all under the backdrop of Venezuela's stubbornly high rates of violent crime, drug trafficking, and corruption. Venezuela's largest city, Caracas, has been called the most dangerous in the world, with nearly 120 murders for every 100,000 people. Much of the country's violent crime stems from its role in transporting drugs from Colombia to the United States. For the most part, victims cannot count on security forces for help, as police officers frequently commit crimes themselves. According to Human Rights Watch, 1 in every 5 crimes is committed by police, and officers have killed thousands of people with impunity. Of course, this is just a snapshot of life in Venezuela while the country is at its lowest point in modern history. Although it's long known poverty, violent crime, and corruption, daily life was much less grim 5, 10, and 20 years ago, while the demand for oil was still high. But in 2016, as oil prices collapse, living conditions in Venezuela are getting worse every day, and thousands have fled to the US and elsewhere.